I've been working in digital marketing for over 15 years now, and in this video, I'm going to show you the 20 top marketing metrics you should pay attention to every single week. Let's do it. First off, the main problem that I'm encountering all the time when talking to marketers is that they track vanity metrics. Most marketers track likes and shares, follower count, post impressions, or general engagement. But then it's really difficult to answer the really important questions like what's our customer acquisition cost? Are we profitable? Which campaigns drive revenue? All right. So we will be exploring 20 metrics in 4 different categories. Here is our framework. We will be exploring awareness and reach, engagement and interest, conversion and action, and revenue and profitability. So, in other words, how many people see your content? This is what most marketers focus on, but there are actually metrics that matter here. Then engagement and interest, so how people interact, then conversion and action, how people buy, and finally revenue and profitability, so how you make money. The first set of metrics is in the awareness and reach category, so measuring your visibility. First one, impressions. The number of times your content is displayed. Example, 50,000 impressions equals your ad showed up 50,000 times. This is really important, especially for organic content on social media, on YouTube, etc., but for ads as well. You want your ads to get as many impressions as possible, but for the right audience. Then, second one is reach. Unique people who saw your content. For example, 50k impressions divided by 12k in reach, that's 4.2 impressions per person. So this is also really important because you need many touch points across your marketing channels to actually start driving revenue. Then the next one is share of voice, your brand visibility versus competitors. And the formula here is your mentions divided by total market mentions times 100. This is especially crucial right now with the advent of artificial intelligence, and now it's actually more important to see the general visibility across all marketing channels and not, for example, only in terms of SEO. You can also see this kind of metric in, for example, Google Ads to see how you compare in terms of visibility versus your competitors. Then number 4 is traffic volume, total website visitors broken down by source, organic search, paid ads, referral links, social media, and direct email. Of course, we could have many other sources here, but these are the main ones. And of course, this is perfectly visible in Google Analytics. Of course, you need to go through the whole setup in Google Analytics, but that's the traffic volume. It needs to be accurate. And right now, it's very difficult to get accurate traffic volume data. So you need to pay extra attention to technicalities. And then number 5, we have cost per thousand. So CPM, the famous CPM, cost to reach 1,000 people. And the formula here is ad spend divided by impressions times 1,000. And the benchmarks are, let's say, for display, 2 to 10 euros or dollars. Social, that would be 5 to 15. And B2B, it's like 10 to 30. Of course, it always depends on the audience you are trying to reach. So these are the top awareness and reach metrics. Next up, we have engagement and interest metrics. So we are measuring interaction and attention here. The first crucial metric here is click-through rate, the famous CTR. So the percentage of users, people who click after seeing your ad, your headline, your whatever. So the formula is clicks divided by impressions times 100. And the benchmark for email, let's say, is 2 to 3%. For display ads, 0.5 to 1%. And for search ads, 3 to 5%. And for example, for YouTube videos, that would be somewhere between 3 to 5% as well. So CTR is extremely important. You can measure it across your landing pages, your headlines, your advertisements. Crucial, absolutely crucial. Then number 2, engagement rate, percentage of audience interacting. So the formula is likes, comments, shares divided by followers times 100. And you have these simple benchmarks here. For example, 1 to 3% for Instagram, LinkedIn 2 to 5%, TikTok 5 to 8%. Next one, we have bounce rate, percentage of users who leave after one page. Under 40% is excellent, 40 to 70% average, and over 70% indicates a problem. So let's say that you are driving traffic to your website and you have a high bounce rate. It means that people didn't find what they were looking for and they just quickly bounced. And which brings us to the next point, which is time on page, average time spent consuming content. For blog posts, 2 to 4 minutes, product pages, 1 to 2 minutes, landing pages, 30 to 90 seconds. And again, you can measure this directly in your Google Analytics account. You want engagement time per session, and you will see that it will vary greatly across your different landing pages. So then it will give you an indication that you need to optimize one of your, let's say, landing pages. And then pages per session, how many pages viewed per visit. For e-commerce, you want 3 to 5 pages, blogs, 2 to 3 pages, and for SaaS, 4 to 6 pages. So these are like these general benchmarks from the engagement and interest category. Next up, we have my favorite category, which is conversion and action metrics. So now we are already going deeper and talking about money, like actual money that is going to be made here in your, let's say, digital marketing career, business, or operation. The first one, the king of all marketing metrics, is the conversion rate, percentage who complete desired action. And the formula here is very simple, conversions divided by visitors times 100. And you can track it at every funnel stage. So you want to know exactly what is the conversion rate from your landing page to your checkout page, from your checkout page to an actual sale, from, let's say, your lead squeeze page to the thank you page, and so on and so forth. It needs to be at least 2%. Come on. It should be higher, probably. Then we have lead to customer rate, a percentage of leads becoming customers. So the formula here is new customers divided by total leads times 100. And for B2B, you want 2 to 5%, and B2C 5 to 10%. So, of course, in B2B, you will be probably, somebody will be filling a form, then you will be getting in touch with them, perhaps having a call online through Calendly or something, doing a presentation, but then still the overall conversion lead to customer rate is going to be maybe 2 to 5%, depending on the industry. But for B2C, you will usually collect emails through different forms, pop-ups and stuff. It's a smaller purchase, so you can expect a higher conversion rate. Then we have MQL versus SQL. So marketing qualified leads show buying intent. So you need to have some kind of a lead scoring functionality in your CRM or marketing automation system to see how engaged these leads are based on, let's say, if they clicked a link, replied to a message, whatever, visited your website. And then you have sales qualified leads that are vetted and ready. So you see, first, like marketing qualified lead is somebody who just raises their hand and says, okay, I'm interested. But then the sales qualified leads are basically almost ready to buy. And you need an MQL to SQL conversion at a level of 40 to 50%. And then CPL, cost per lead, very important. How much you spend per lead. So the formula is total marketing spend divided by number of leads. And let's say in B2B, maybe 50 to 200 euros or dollars. In B2C, 10 to 50, and SaaS 100 to 300 is a kind of normal range. Okay, so the final and most important category is revenue and profitability metrics, the metrics CEOs actually care about. The customer acquisition cost, so CAC, or sometimes in marketing you can also call it CPA, cost per action. But it can be any kind of action. So customer acquisition cost is just getting the purchase, getting the customer. You need to keep it as low as possible, of course. So the one, as Dan Kennedy always used to say, a person who can pay the most to acquire a customer wins, which brings us to the next metric here, which is customer lifetime value. Because if you know that your customer lifetime value is going to be much higher than your average customer acquisition cost, then you have a golden opportunity in your hands. But for CAC, it's also really important to include all costs, including ad spend, tools, salaries, agencies, everything. This is really important. And finally, we have LTV to CAC ratio, the golden profitability metric. So if it's 1 to 1, you are actually losing money. If it's 2 to 1, breaking even, and 3 to 1, you are healthy, and 5 to 1, you are excellent. So you need to get the customer acquisition cost as low as possible, the customer lifetime value as high as possible, to get that ratio also as high as possible, and then you are really profitable. And now let's look at some of the examples from the ROAS and marketing ROI metrics. The two most important ones are return on ad spend, ROAS, which is revenue generated per dollar spent on ads. And the formula here is revenue from ads divided by ad spend. So example, 50,000 euros of revenue divided by 10,000 ad spend, that's 5 to 1 ROAS. And the benchmarks are 4 to 1 for B2B, 5 to 1 for SaaS, 3 to 1. And then marketing ROI, so total marketing profitability including all costs. Again, it's really important to measure it against all costs. So the formula here is revenue minus marketing cost divided by marketing cost times 100. And the example would be 300K, you've made 300K in revenue, minus 50K in cost equals 250K in profit. So 250K divided by 50K, that's 500% ROI. This is what your CEO cares about most. And now your action plan for the next weeks, let's say. So in week number 1, I suggest you identify the top 5 metrics you can track now. In week number 2, you can set up tracking with Google Analytics, CRM, or a spreadsheet. Actually, pivot tables are really great. You can use something like Looker Studio from Google to set up these interactive real-time marketing dashboards. Then week 3, establish your baseline numbers, and week 4, set improvement targets and start optimizing. And then do not track all of the 20 metrics at once. Start with one metric from each category, master them, then add more. And then for these kinds of occasional checks, you can check conversion rates, CAC, ROAS, and traffic by source weekly. You can create automated reports for that. For monthly, LTV CAC ratio, MQL divided by SQL numbers, CPL, so cost per lead per channel, marketing ROI. And quarterly, overall ROI, CAC payback period, channel performance, and budget reallocation. So there you go. These are the 20 most important marketing metrics that you can use. And if you want to really improve the accuracy of your data, you need to implement the consent mode V2 on your website so you have accurate marketing data. So perhaps this is going to be the next video you are going to be watching on my channel. So please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to see you in the next one.